Captain Do-hyun stared at the stars through the main viewport of the Korean Space Force vessel *Baekdu*. The ship glided silently through the darkness at the edge of human space. It was their third month of patrol duty, and most days were the same. Check sensors. Scan for threats. Log reports. Repeat. "Captain, you should get some rest," said Lieutenant Ji-ho from his communication station. "Your shift ended 2 hours ago." Do-hyun smiled but didn't turn away from the viewport. "The stars help me think, Ji-ho. When I look at them, I wonder what's out there waiting for us." "Hopefully nothing," Ji-ho replied. "The 3 alien species we've met so far haven't been very friendly." This was true. Since humans had discovered faster-than-light travel 10 years ago, they had met 3 alien civilizations. None wanted much to do with humans. They called Earth a death world because of its high gravity, dangerous wildlife, and extreme weather. They seemed afraid of humans, who had evolved to survive in such harsh conditions. "Sir," called out Ensign Min from the sensor station, "I'm picking up a signal. It's not one of ours." Do-hyun moved quickly to Min's station. "Show me." The screen displayed a repeating pattern of energy pulses. Min played the audio. It was a strange mix of sounds, clicks, whistles, and what might have been words in an unknown language. "Is it one of the known alien languages?" Do-hyun asked. Ji-ho joined them at the sensor station. "No, sir. This is something new. But there's a pattern to it that suggests it's artificial. It's definitely a message." "Can you tell where it's coming from?" Min pointed to a star system on the navigation chart. "From this direction, sir, about 20 light-years beyond our border." "Is it directed at us specifically?" "I think so," Ji-ho said after studying the signal pattern. "The transmission is narrow beam and aimed directly at our sector of space." Do-hyun considered this information. "Wake up Science Officer Sun-mi. I want her opinion on this." 20 minutes later, Sun-mi stood in the ship's conference room with Do-hyun, Ji-ho, and Tactical Officer Kang. Her short black hair was messy from sleep, but her eyes were alert. "It's definitely a distress call," Sun-mi said, pointing to the visual representation of the signal on the screen. "See these repeating patterns? They're mathematical sequences, the kind of universal language you use to communicate with an unknown species." "Could it be a trap?" asked Officer Kang. His hand rested near his sidearm, as if the message itself might attack. "Anything's possible," Sun-mi admitted. "But why set a trap at the edge of our territory when we rarely patrol this far out?" Do-hyun nodded. "What else can you tell us about the message?" Sun-mi tapped on her tablet, and new images appeared on the screen. "I've been running it through our translation algorithms. There are fragments that seem to match standard galactic communication protocols we learned from our limited contact with other species." She highlighted sections of the message. "This part repeats frequently. I think it translates roughly to help or emergency. And this section here might be danger and extinction." The room grew quiet as the implications sank in. "There's something else," Sun-mi said, her voice softer. "The message contains Earth's coordinates." "What?" Do-hyun leaned forward. "How would they have those?" "I don't know, but they're calling us specifically. Whoever sent this knows where Earth is and is asking for our help." Ji-ho frowned. "But why would anyone ask humans for help? The aliens we've met think we're dangerous savages from a death planet." "Perhaps that's exactly why," Do-hyun said thoughtfully. "Let's send a brief response acknowledging their message, but we're heading back to Earth. The Defense Council needs to see this." 2 weeks later, the *Baekdu* orbited Earth. Do-hyun stood in the Grand Meeting Hall of the United Earth Defense Council in Seoul. The circular room held representatives from every major nation and colony in the human sphere. "Captain Do-hyun," began Counselor Park, the head of the Defense Council, "you've brought us something unprecedented. Our analysts confirm your findings. This is indeed a distress call from an unknown alien civilization that refers to itself as the Galactic Unified Council, or GUC. Murmurs filled the room. Do-hyun waited for them to quiet down. During your return journey, Park continued, we received additional transmissions. Our linguists have made progress in translation. He gestured to a woman sitting at the side of the room. Dr. Lee will explain. Dr. Lee stood and adjusted her glasses. The GUC appears to be a coalition of approximately 200 spacefaring species. They've been fighting a war against what they call the Harvesters, a machine intelligence that destroys worlds to collect resources and biological data. She tapped her tablet, and a hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed strange ship designs, sleek, metallic crafts with tendrils extending from their hulls. These are harvester vessels, according to the GUC data. They've been fighting this enemy for over 300 years, and are losing. Dozens of worlds have been destroyed. Counselor Kim from the North American zone raised his hand. But why contact us? Earth is barely a spacefaring civilization compared to them. Dr. Lee nodded. That's the interesting part. It seems the GUC species mostly evolved on what they call garden worlds, planets with ideal conditions and minimal threats. They consider Earth a death world because of our gravity, atmospheric composition, temperature extremes, and abundant predators. So they're afraid of us, but now they want our help. Asked Counselor Rodriguez from the South American Union. Exactly, Dr. Lee confirmed. The message states that they need death world species because they think differently and fight differently. They believe humans might have the survival instincts and aggression that their own species lack. The council chamber erupted with voices. Some counselors argued that this was humanity's chance to join the galactic community. Others warned that it could be a trap or that humans shouldn't get involved in an alien war. Do-hyun listened to the debate patiently. Finally, Counselor Park called for order. We must vote on how to respond, Park announced. Captain Do-hyun, what is your assessment? Do-hyun stood straighter. Counselors, we have 3 options. We can ignore the call and focus on defending our own territory. We can offer diplomatic assistance only. Or we can commit to helping the GUC against these harvesters. He paused, gathering his thoughts. Based on the data provided by the GUC, the harvesters will eventually find Earth. They target planets with high biodiversity, which describes Earth perfectly. If the GUC falls, we will face the harvesters alone. I believe it's in our interest to help now, while we have potential allies, rather than fight alone later. The council voted after hours of debate. By a narrow margin, they decided to answer the call for help. 1 month later, Captain Do-hyun stood on the bridge of the Baekdu again. But now his ship wasn't alone. 9 other warships from Earth's combined fleets accompanied him, forming the first human expeditionary force. All ships report ready, Captain, said Jai-ho from his station. Good, Do-hyun replied. He looked around at his crew. Sun Mai at the science station, Tactical Officer Kang at weapons, and Navigation Officer Han-gil at the helm. They had trained together for years, but nothing had prepared them for this mission. The coordinates from the GUC point to a star system designated GC-1, Sun Mai reported. It's a neutral meeting ground at the edge of their territory. Our translators are configured with the language data they sent us. Do-hyun nodded. Han-gil, prepare for jump to light speed. Ji-ho, send one final message to Earth. Let them know we're proceeding as planned. As his orders were carried out, Do-hyun thought about the responsibility on his shoulders. 10 ships, over 3,000 personnel, the largest human fleet ever assembled, were about to make contact with an alien civilization that spanned hundreds of worlds. They would represent all of humanity in what might become the greatest war the galaxy had ever seen. Jump coordinates locked in, sir, Han-gil announced. Do-hyun took a deep breath. On my mark. 3, 2, 1. Jump. The stars stretched into lines of light as the human fleet leaped into the unknown, answering a desperate call that would change the course of galactic history forever. The human fleet exited light speed near a massive space station. It floated in the darkness like a metal flower, with 6 huge petal-shaped sections extending from a central hub. Lights sparkled across its surface, and various alien ships moved around it like bees around a hive. All ships have arrived safely, Jai-Ho reported from his communication station. No damage from the jump. Captain Do-hyun nodded, his eyes fixed on the alien station. It was at least 10 times larger than Earth's biggest space station. The sight made him feel very small. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission from the station," Jai-Ho said. "They're welcoming us and sending docking instructions." "Tell all ships to maintain formation," Do-hyun ordered. "We'll approach together, but only the *Baekdu* will dock. The rest of the fleet will hold position at a safe distance." As the *Baekdu* moved toward the station, Sunmi studied her readings. "Captain, I'm detecting at least 15 different types of ships around the station. Based on their designs, they appear to be from different species." "Any weapons targeting us?" asked Tactical Officer Kang. "No active targeting, but every ship and the station itself have powerful weapon systems," Sunmi replied. "They could destroy our entire fleet if they wanted to." Do-hyun kept his face calm, though his heart beat faster. "Let's hope they don't want to, then." 2 hours later, Do-hyun led a small team through the docking tube onto the alien station. With him were Sunmi, Kang, and Jai-Ho. They each wore standard Blue Earth Defense Force uniforms with Korea's flag patch on their shoulders and Earth's flag on their chests. They stepped into a large, circular room with a high ceiling. The air smelled strange, not bad, but full of unfamiliar scents. The gravity felt slightly lighter than Earth's. 5 aliens waited for them. 4 stood in a line behind one who stepped forward. It was tall and bird-like, with feathers covering most of its body. Its head had a short beak and large, intelligent eyes. It wore a flowing robe with strange symbols. "Welcome, humans of Earth," the alien said in perfect English. Its voice had an odd musical quality. "I am Ambassador Talon of the Galactic Unified Council. We are grateful you answered our call." Do-hyun bowed slightly. "I am Captain Do-hyun of the Earth Defense Force. We received your distress signal and came to offer assistance." Talon made a gesture with his winged arms that might have been his species' version of a bow. "You are the first Deathworld species to join our coalition. Some of my colleagues were skeptical that you would come." "Deathworld?" Jai-Ho asked, though he already knew the term. "That is what we call planets like yours," Talon explained. "High gravity, extreme weather, dangerous predators, and high levels of competition for resources. Most advanced civilizations evolve on what we call garden worlds, places with stable climates, few predators, and abundant resources." Sunmi stepped forward. "Is that why you contacted us?" "Because we're from a death world." Talon's feathers flattened against his body. "Yes. After centuries of fighting the harvesters, we realized we needed different thinking. Your species evolved facing constant threats. You understand survival in ways we do not." Do-hyun studied the other aliens behind Talon. They were all different species. One was short and stocky with gray skin. Another was tall and thin with 4 arms. The third looked like a large insect, and the fourth resembled a furry reptile. "These are representatives from the GUC Security Council," Talon said, noticing Do-hyun's interest. "They wish to meet the humans personally." The insect-like alien clicked something, and Talon translated. "Admiral Pristine asks if your ships are your best military vessels. They seem primitive by our standards." Kang frowned, but Do-hyun kept his face neutral. "They are among our best. We're a young spacefaring species. We've only had faster-than-light travel for 10 years. This caused a stir among the aliens. They spoke to each other in their own languages, their translator devices working overtime. 10 years. Talon seemed shocked. Most species spend centuries exploring their own star systems before developing FTL technology. Humans are adaptable, Do-hyun said simply. "Now, can you tell us more about these harvesters? We need to understand what we're facing. In a large meeting room, Talon showed the humans images and videos of the harvesters. They were massive ships that looked like metal spiders, with long arms that could tear into planets. They appeared 300 years ago, Talon explained. At first, they only attacked uninhabited worlds rich in resources. Then they began targeting populated planets. They strip a world of all biological material and minerals, leaving nothing behind. What do they want? Sunmei asked, studying the images closely. We believe they collect genetic material from every world they harvest, Talon said. They may be building some kind of biological database. We don't know why. Do-hyun watched footage of a harvester attack on an alien colony. The defender ships fired at the harvesters, but their formation was poor. Their tactics seemed basic. May I ask about your military tactics? Do-hyun said carefully. Talon made a gesture that might have been embarrassment. Most UC species have little history of warfare. On garden worlds, resources are plentiful. There is little need to fight. When the harvesters came, we had to learn quickly. Kang and Do-hyun exchanged looks. This explained a lot. We would like to see your weapons and ships, Kang said, to understand how we might assist. The alien battlecruiser was enormous, 5 times the size of the Baekdu*. Its weapon systems were advanced beyond human technology. Yet watching its crew during a battle simulation, Do-hyun felt a growing concern. They're not using their ship efficiently, he whispered to Kang. Their maneuvers are predictable. They rely too much on the power of their weapons rather than strategy. Kang nodded. A smaller, more agile ship could outmaneuver them easily. After the demonstration, they met with Admiral Pristine in a private chamber. The insect-like alien was clearly a high-ranking military leader. Through Talon's translation, Pristine said, "You seem unimpressed with our largest battlecruiser, humans." Do-hyun chose his words carefully. Your technology is impressive. But in battle, technology is only one factor. Strategy, adaptability, and unpredictability are equally important. And you believe humans possess these qualities. Pristine's tone was hard to read through the translator. We evolved on a world where every day was a fight for survival, Do-hyun replied. Our history is full of warfare and competition. It's not something we're proud of, but it taught us how to fight. Before Pristine could respond, alarms blared throughout the station. Talon's feathers stood on end. Harvester scout ship, he said, his voice higher with fear. It's approaching the station. On the station's command center, Do-hyun and his team watched as a small but menacing harvester ship approached. It was shaped like a metal scorpion, with forward-facing claws and a tail that glowed with energy. It's scanning us, said a GUC technician, probably gathering intelligence. We should destroy it before it can report back, Do-hyun suggested. Admiral Pristine made a negative gesture. Our weapons might not reach it in time. We should evacuate the station. Do-hyun looked at Kang, who nodded in understanding. With your permission, Do-hyun said to Talon, we can handle this. Without waiting for a full response, Do-hyun contacted the human fleet. This is Captain Do-hyun. We have a harvester scout ship near the station. The Baekdu* will remain docked. I want the Hala* and Jury* to engage. Use pattern Delta 5. The GUC officials watched in confusion as 2 human ships broke formation and moved toward the harvester scout. Instead of approaching directly, they split up and came at the enemy vessel from different angles. The harvester fired a beam of energy at one human ship, but it had already changed course, rolling to avoid the attack. The other human ship fired precise shots at the harvester's sensor arrays. They're not trying to destroy it, Sunmei explained to the watching aliens. They're blinding it first. With its sensors damaged, the harvester couldn't target the human ships effectively. The human vessels continued their unpredictable movements, firing at specific points on the harvester's hull. Now they will finish it, Kang said with satisfaction. Both human ships fired simultaneously at a weak point they had created. The Harvester Scout exploded in a flash of light. The command center was silent. Then the alien officials began speaking all at once, their translator devices struggling to keep up. Talon turned to Do-hyun, his eyes wide. Your ships are smaller and less advanced, yet they defeated the Harvester Scout with ease. How? We studied its design from your data, Do-hyun explained. We looked for weaknesses. We used unpredictable movements. We worked together. Admiral Pristine approached slowly. Through the translator, he said, perhaps we were right to call the Deathworlders after all. 2 weeks had passed since the human fleet arrived at the GUC station. Captain Do-hyun stood in a large training room watching Commander Taewon teach alien officers how to fight. Taewon had joined them from the *Hala* after the successful defense against the Harvester Scout. Your ships have powerful weapons, Taewon explained to the group of alien officers, but you fly in straight lines. You attack head-on. This makes you easy targets. One of the alien officers, a blue-skinned being with 4 eyes, spoke up. But our ships are built for direct engagement. Our weapons are most effective when aimed forward. Taewon nodded. That is why you need to think differently. A direct path is predictable. The Harvesters can calculate your moves before you make them. He moved to a holographic display showing a battle simulation. With quick gestures, he changed the formation of the GUC ships. Fly in smaller groups. Change direction often. Attack from multiple angles. Make the enemy divide their attention. Do-hyun smiled as he watched. Taewon had been his tactical instructor years ago. He knew how to teach, even to aliens who thought very differently from humans. Ambassador Talon joined Do-hyun at the back of the room. Your commander Taewon is an excellent teacher. Some of our officers are resistant to new ideas, but they listen to him. War is part of human history, Do-hyun said quietly. Not something we're proud of, but it taught us many lessons. Captain, the GUC High Council wishes to meet with you, Talon said. They'd been discussing your proposal. In the High Council chamber, Do-hyun faced 50 alien representatives, seated in rising tiers around a central platform. Some appeared similar to Ambassador Talon, while others were completely different from any species Do-hyun had seen before. They all watched him with different types of eyes, some blinking, some not blinking at all. Captain Do-hyun of Earth began the council leader, a tall, willowy being with silver skin. We have reviewed your proposal to create a joint human GUC task force. Many council members are concerned about giving humans access to our advanced technology. Do-hyun had expected this. We understand your concerns. Humans are new to your galaxy, and you know little about us. But the Harvester threat grows each day. We need to work together. Admiral Pristine stepped forward from among the council members. The humans propose teaching our forces their combat tactics. But I must ask, if your tactics are so effective, why give them to us? Why not keep this advantage for yourselves? The question carried an accusation. Several council members murmured in agreement. Do-hyun met Pristine's compound eyes without flinching. The Harvesters are a threat to all life, including Earth. We believe that by helping you fight more effectively now, we protect ourselves in the future. And while our tactics may be useful, your technology is far more advanced. Together, we are stronger than alone. Science Officer Sunmai, who stood beside Do-hyun, added, our analysis of Harvester attack patterns shows they will reach Earth within 5 years. This is not just your war, it's ours too. The council debated among themselves in various languages. Do-hyun couldn't understand their words, but their body language suggested deep disagreement. Finally, the council leader raised a hand for silence. We will allow a limited joint task force. 20 GUC ships will train with your fleet, but we will not share our most advanced weapons technology yet. It wasn't everything Do-hyun had hoped for, but it was a start. In the station's science lab, Engineer Han Giel worked alongside alien scientists to study pieces of a harvester ship. Han Giel had arrived from Earth a week earlier with additional human personnel. His hands moved carefully over a metal component that glowed with faint blue light. "This is part of their command system," he explained to Sun Mai, who had joined him. "It uses quantum entanglement for communication, very advanced." Sun Mai looked at the alien scientists working nearby. "Have you made progress on the weakness we discussed?" Han Giel nodded slightly. "Yes. The quantum field they use has a specific frequency. If we can create enough interference at that frequency, we could disrupt their coordination." Sun Mai finished his thought. "Have you told the GUC scientists?" "Not yet," Han Giel said quietly. "I wanted to be sure first." And you don't fully trust them," Sun Mai guessed. Han Giel sighed. "Lieutenant Ji-ho found something in their archives, something they didn't tell us." Ji-ho sat at a computer terminal in the station's database center. He had been granted limited access to GUC historical records as part of his role as communications officer. What he found disturbed him deeply. When Do-hyun, Sun Mai, and Han Giel gathered in his small office, Ji-ho closed the door. "The GUC discovered Earth over 200 years ago," he said without preamble. "They've been watching us since then." "What?" Do-hyun's eyes widened. "Are you certain?" Ji-ho nodded grimly. "They classified Earth as a Class 5 death world and established a quarantine. No contact allowed." He showed them translated documents on his screen. Some GUC factions even proposed sterilizing Earth before humans could develop space travel. They feared we would be too aggressive, too dangerous to join the galactic community. Sun Mai read through the documents with a frown. According to this, the decision to contact Earth was highly controversial. It passed the High Council by just 3 votes. Admiral Pristine was strongly against it, Ji-ho added. He still believes humans are too unpredictable to trust. Do-hyun took a deep breath. "This explains his hostility, but it doesn't change our mission. The harvesters are real, and so is the threat to Earth." "There's more," Ji-ho said. "I cross-referenced harvester attack patterns with GUC exploration records. The harvesters seem to follow behind GUC exploration ships, as if they're using GUC data to find new targets." The room fell silent as they considered the implications. "So the GUC may have unintentionally led the harvesters to hundreds of worlds," Han Giel said finally. "Including Earth," Sun Mai added quietly. Alarms blared throughout the station. Do-hyun and his team rushed to the command center, where GUC officials were gathered around display screens. "What's happening?" Do-hyun asked Ambassador Talon. "The harvesters are attacking Lumina, one of our core worlds," Talon explained, his feathers flat with distress. "Population 6 billion. They came with no warning. 30 harvester ships." Admiral Pristine was giving orders to GUC fleet commanders. "All available ships to Lumina. Priority is civilian evacuation." Do-hyun stepped forward. "The human fleet can assist." Pristine turned to him. "This is not your fight, human. Your ships are few and would be quickly destroyed." "Admiral," Do-hyun said firmly, "my ships are ready for combat. The crews your Commander Tadwan has been training are also ready. Let us help." The council leader intervened. "We need all available ships. If the humans wish to assist, we should accept." Pristine's mandibles clicked in what might have been frustration, but he nodded. "Commander Tadwan," Do-hyun called over his communicator. "Prepare all human ships for combat. We're joining the defense of Lumina." "Already on it, Captain," came Tadwan's steady reply. "The alien crews we've been training are requesting to join us under human tactical command." Do-hyun looked at Pristine, who hesitated then gave a curt nod. 20 GUC ships may follow human tactical leadership for this mission only. The space above Lumina was chaos. Harvester ships tore through the upper atmosphere, their metal arms extending toward the planet below. GUCC defenders fired powerful weapons, but struggled to coordinate their efforts. The human fleet arrived at the edge of the battle, accompanied by 20 GUC vessels, now painted with bright red markings to identify them as part of the Joint Task Force. All ships form into 5 battle groups as planned. Ta-1 ordered from the Hala*. Each group target a single harvester ship. Focus fire on the weak points we identified. Do-hyun watched from the Baekdu*, as the human-led formations moved into the battle. Unlike the other GUC ships that attacked directly, these groups approached from different angles, using the planet's atmosphere and debris fields for cover. Sunmai, any readings on those quantum frequencies? Do-hyun asked. Yes, Captain. The harvesters are using quantum communication, as we suspected. Engineer Han Gyeol's disruptors are ready. Do-hyun nodded. Tell him to activate on my mark. The battle raged for hours. 7 GUC ships were destroyed, and 3 human vessels suffered heavy damage. But they had managed to destroy 12 harvester ships, more than the GUC had ever defeated in a single battle. As the remaining harvesters began to retreat, Sunmi made a discovery. Captain, I've been analyzing the harvester attack pattern. They're not just harvesting randomly. They're searching for something specific. What do you mean? Do-hyun asked, moving to her station. Sunmi pointed to her screen. They're targeting worlds with high genetic diversity, yes. But specifically, they focus on planets with rapidly evolving species that show high rates of adaptation. Like species from Deathworlds, Do-hyun said slowly. Like humans, Sunmi confirmed. They're looking for genetic sequences related to rapid adaptation, exactly what made Earth a death world and humans such effective survivors. Do-hyun looked out at the battle, where the last harvester ships were jumping away. They're not just collectors, he said quietly. They're hunters, and we might be their ultimate prey. The victory at Lumina changed everything. News spread quickly through the Galactic Unified Council. The humans, the Deathworlders, had helped defeat the Harvesters in the largest single victory of the 300-year war. In the main conference room of the GUC station, Captain Do-hyun stood before the High Council and the military leaders. Holograms showed the damaged but still beautiful planet Lumina. The Harvesters will return, Do-hyun said, his voice firm but calm. They lost ships, but they will build more. We need to change our approach. Instead of always defending, we must attack. Admiral Pristine clicked his mandibles. Attack. The Harvesters have hundreds of ships. Even with your tactics, we cannot defeat them all. We don't need to defeat all of them at once, Do-hyun replied. We need to destroy their central command. The room grew quiet. Do-hyun nodded to Sunmi, who stepped forward. Based on our analysis of harvester communication patterns, we believe they operate as a hive mind, she explained. All harvester ships are connected to a central intelligence. If we destroy that central intelligence, the rest will be disorganized and easier to defeat. The council leader leaned forward. How can you be sure such a central command exists? And how would we find it? Engineer Han Gyeol joined Sunmi at the front of the room. The quantum communication system we discovered uses a hub-and-spoke model. All ships connect to a central point. That central point must be their command ship or station. And we have a plan to find it, Do-hyun added. But it's risky. Later that day, Do-hyun met with his core team in private. Sunmi, Han Gyeol, Jae-ho, and Commander Ta-1. They gathered in a small room aboard the Baekdu*. The council approved our plan, Do-hyun told them. But Admiral Pristine and several others voted against it. They think it's too dangerous. It is dangerous, Ta-1 said bluntly. We're using ourselves as bait. Jae-ho nodded. And we're asking a lot of the GUC ships. They'll have to follow our tactical lead completely. They will, Do-hyun said confidently. The victory at Lumina proved our methods work. Even Pristine can't deny that. The quantum disruptors are ready, Han Gyeol reported. We've built enough for the entire fleet. Once activated, they'll create a field that blocks the Harvesters' communication with each other and their central command. But only for a short time, Sun Mai added. Maybe 20 minutes before they adapt. Do Hyun looked at each member of his team. Then we have 20 minutes to end a 300-year war. The binary star system, HC 117, was uninhabited. Its two suns created dangerous radiation levels that made planets in the system unable to support life. This made it perfect for Do Hyun's plan. The human fleet and 60 GUC ships waited in the system. Engineer Han Gil and his team had placed quantum disruptors on asteroids and small moons throughout the area. Everything was ready. On the bridge of the asterisk, Baekdu asterisk, Do Hyun received a transmission from Admiral Pristine, who commanded one of the GUC battle cruisers. This plan of yours places a lot of faith in your technology, human, Pristine said. His translator didn't fully convey his emotions, but his body language suggested tension. The plan places faith in all of us working together, Do Hyun replied. My ships will follow your lead in the initial attack, Admiral. Then we need your ships to follow our lead for the second phase. Pristine was silent for a moment. Very well. For the good of the galaxy, I will follow your plan. But know that I still have doubts about trusting Deathworlders with our future. The transmission ended, and Ji-ho turned to Do Hyun. He's worried we'll use this opportunity to gain control over the GUC. Wouldn't be the first time someone thought that about humans, Do Hyun said with a small smile. But he'll see we're fighting for everyone, not just ourselves. The alert system chimed. Sun Mai looked up from her station. Captain, the GUC scout ships have returned. They report Harvester ships are following them. 30. No, 50 ships. And something else. A massive vessel unlike any we've seen before. That's it, Do Hyun said. That's their command ship. Taiwan studied the incoming data. It's 3 times larger than the largest GUC battlecruiser, heavily armored and heavily armed. All ships, battle positions, Do Hyun ordered. Prepare to execute Phase 1. The Harvester fleet arrived at the edge of the system. Their ships moved in perfect coordination, like the fingers of a single hand. At the center of their formation was the massive command ship, a dark, hulking structure that looked like a metal mountain floating in space. The GUC ships, led by Admiral Pristine, moved forward in a direct attack formation. This was Phase 1, making the Harvesters believe they faced the same predictable GUC tactics as always. The Harvesters responded as expected, spreading out to surround the GUC ships. Their metal arms extended, weapons glowing with energy. They've taken the bait, Taiwan reported. Harvester ships are fully committed to engaging Pristine's forces. Begin Phase 2, Do Hyun ordered. The human fleet and 20 GUC ships that had been hiding behind a large moon suddenly moved. They flew in 5 tight groups, each targeting a different part of the Harvester formation. Admiral Pristine, execute your withdrawal now, Do Hyun called over the comm. On screen, they watched as the GUC ships suddenly broke formation and scattered in different directions, just as they had practiced. The Harvesters, expecting them to maintain their usual rigid formation, were caught off guard. Now, Han Gil, Do Hyun ordered. Han Gil activated the quantum disruptors. Throughout the system, the hidden devices powered up, creating a field of interference that blocked the Harvesters' quantum communications. The effect was immediate. The perfect coordination of the Harvester ships faltered. Some stopped moving entirely. Others moved erratically, bumping into each other. It's working, Sun Mai exclaimed. They can't communicate with each other or the command ship. All ships, focus fire on the command vessel, Do Hyun ordered. We have 20 minutes before they adapt. The combined human and GUC fleet converged on the massive Harvester command ship. Without the support of its fleet, the command ship had to defend itself alone. Though powerful, it couldn't target all the attacking ships at once. The battle was fierce. 3 human ships and 7 GUC vessels were destroyed in the first attack run. but they managed to damage the command ship's outer armor. Second attack run, Ta-1 called. Target the exposed sections. As the fleet came around for another attack, the harvester ships began to move more purposefully. They're adapting to the disruption faster than we expected, Han-Geol warned. We might only have 10 more minutes. Do-hyun studied the command ship on his screen. Despite the damage, it was still functioning. Its main weapons were firing at the attacking fleet, destroying more ships with each passing minute. We need to hit it from the inside, Do-hyun said suddenly. Sunmai, scan for entry points, hangars, docking bays, anything we could fly a ship into. Sunmai worked quickly. There's what appears to be a main hangar on the lower section, but the defenses around it are incredibly strong. Do-hyun made his decision. I'm going to take the Baekdu in. We'll use our remaining missiles to clear a path, then fly directly into the hangar. Captain, that's a suicide mission, Jai-ho protested. Not necessarily, Do-hyun replied. If we can plant Han-Geol's largest quantum disruptor inside the command ship, near what we think is their central processor, we might be able to disable it completely. I'll go, Commander Ta-1 said firmly. The Hala is faster than the Baekdu and more maneuverable. I have a better chance of getting through. Do-hyun started to argue, but Ta-1 continued. You need to command the fleet, Captain. This is my mission. After a moment, Do-hyun nodded. Prepare the Hala. Han-Geol, get your strongest disruptor ready for transfer. The Hala broke away from the main fleet, carrying Han-Geol's most powerful quantum disruptor. Commander Ta-1 piloted the ship himself, diving through the chaos of battle toward the Harvester command ship. We're transferring tactical command of all forces to you, Ta-1, Do-hyun said over the comm. Make it count. I will, Captain, Ta-1 replied calmly. It's been an honor serving with you. The Hala fired all its missiles, clearing a path through the Harvester's outer defenses. Wounded but still moving, it plunged toward the hangar opening. At the last moment, several Harvester ships moved to block the path. They had begun to coordinate again. The disruption was wearing off. I can't get through, Ta-1 reported. They've blocked the approach. Do-hyun watched helplessly as the Hala took heavy fire. Then, suddenly, Admiral Pristine's battlecruiser moved forward, firing all weapons at the blocking Harvester ships. Clear a path for the human. Pristine's voice came over the comm. The Deathworlder must reach his target. With Pristine's help, a small opening appeared, the Hala, trailing debris and venting atmosphere, accelerated toward the gap. I'm going to make it, Ta-1 said. Activating disruptor now. The Hala disappeared into the Harvester command ship. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a wave of energy pulsed from the command ship. All the Harvester vessels suddenly stopped moving, as if frozen in space. He did it, Sunmai whispered. The disruptor is working from inside. It's affecting their entire network. The massive command ship began to break apart from within. Explosions rippled across its surface as its power systems overloaded. All ships, clear the area, Do-hyun ordered, his voice thick with emotion. The command ship is going to explode. The human and GUC ships retreated to a safe distance. The Harvester command ship erupted in a massive explosion that consumed many of the nearby Harvester vessels. The remaining Harvester ships drifted aimlessly, their guidance systems no longer functioning. Admiral Pristine's battlecruiser moved alongside the Baekdu. Your commander gave his life for all of us, Pristine said, his voice different now. The Deathworlder sacrificed himself for the galaxy. This was not what I expected from humans. It's exactly what humans do, Do-hyun replied quietly. We fight, we survive, and sometimes we die for what we believe in. As the fleets began the journey back to GUC space, Do-hyun looked out at the stars. The Harvester threat was ended. Ta-1 was gone. But humanity had found its place in the galaxy. The Deathworlders had answered the call, and the galaxy would never forget.